Hey guys, what's up? So I was listening to this album today and I realized I have yet to talk about this in a video. And this was one of my top favorite albums when I was younger. I was probably, well, let's see, what year did it come out? It came out in 85. So I was 13 years old when this came out. Um, I was subscribing to Teen YM and 17 magazine, and this singer was featured as a model in the magazines, and she was also a singer. And she came out with her debut album in 1985, and every song on this album is iconic. And I stand by that. And that's a big claim, but I love it, and maybe it's the 13-year-old girl in me, but I thought that this album was so incredible and emotional and dramatic, and it just had so much depth of love and loss and betrayal and inspiration, and it just had everything. And I'm talking about, of course, Whitney Houston's debut album, just called Whitney Houston. I believe her second album was just called Whitney. She really went with the theme. There she is in her modeling days on the back. What can we say about Whitney Houston? What can we say about the tragedy of drugs and alcohol? She was one of the most beautiful, talented women in the world. Modeling, she had a flawless appearance. She had a great body. She had the most amazing voice. And if all that isn't aggravating enough, she was actually a really good actress. I saw all of her movies as soon as they came out in the theater. I absolutely adore Whitney Houston's music, and it never gets old. So, this particular album had You Give Good Love, Thinking About You, Someone for Me, Saving All My Love for You, Nobody Loves Me Like You Do, How Will I Know, All at Once, Take Good Care of My Heart, The Greatest Love of All, and Hold Me. How does it get any better than that? Now, I don't know if a lot of you guys listened to Whitney Houston when you were growing up. I'm sure a lot of you thought she was hot. But her music is incredible. Her voice is incredible. The rivalry between her and Mariah Carey, and then finally getting them to do a duet on the Prince of Egypt soundtrack, iconic. Everything about the 80s felt iconic. I don't know, in the 80s and the 90s. It just, I don't know. These stars were unbelievable. And obviously, Whitney Houston is only one of many, many talented artists from that time period that I'm going to cover that had a huge impact on me as a child. But she's definitely one of the best. And this album, start to finish, is incredible. I found this in a used store, I think in New Hampshire, maybe 10 years ago when I got my vinyl stuff back online when I started when I got the record player and started collecting again. Maybe it wasn't 10 years, but it was something like that. I had gotten rid of all my albums and then I had started rebuying them. Well, this album in particular, the Whitney Houston self-titled, was in pretty rough shape when I got rid of it. So I'm happy to have a really clean, skip-free copy of it because it would get to the point where it's one of those albums that you knew so well that when you heard the songs on the radio, you would hear the skip in your head, even though it wasn't there, because you still listen to it like that so much. Um, but I love this album. I do. And I can't believe I hadn't talked about it yet. But I was flipping through my albums this morning and I decided to listen to it. And then I was like, yeah, we need to talk about this one. It is definitely a favorite. So, Whitney Houston, self titled. Do you have a favorite Whitney Houston song? Do you have a favorite Whitney Houston memory? I never got to see her in concert, but I did see all of her movies, and I just I just love her. I don't know. And obviously tragic, tragic, tragic. I remember where I was when I saw the news story that she was gone, and it was such a loss because there are millions of singers in the world, but I would love to know what percentage had her range. If you look at like, and I don't know the specific numbers, and help me out if you're a musician and you know these things, but Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Freddie Mercury, Annie Lennox, these singers had the most incredible range. And I know I'm forgetting a ton of them, but it's a very small percentage of people that I've experienced that have that kind of range and talent. And for her to just be gone like that so young, it's just it just breaks my heart. And yeah. So Whitney, absolutely love her. Comment below if you have a favorite Whitney Houston song or Whitney Houston memory, or you just want to talk about the album. And I'll be back with more. I love you guys.